Here now with more. He is running for the Republican nomination for Senate in the great state of Pennsylvania. Renowned surgeon, over 4,000 heart surgeries in his life. Dr. Oz is with us. So if you're fully vaccinated, you can get Omicron. If you're fully vaccinated and have a booster, you can get Omicron. If you're fully vaccinated, have a booster, and natural immunity, you can get Omicron. Why isn't there more talk about the therapeutics? Because that would be the next logical scientific step for me.
You know, we've got blinders on. There's gross incompetence. We're witnessing it. We don't have enough testing, as you pointed out, but the lack of antibody cocktails is almost criminal at this point. I was managing patients over the holidays, pleading with other physicians who might have an extra cocktail available of these monoclonal antibodies. They're just not available. And then, how about the pills, Sean? Some of these pills we suspected might have worked even before COVID hit our shores. These antiviral pills have now been approved by the FDA. You can't find any. I was calling the companies, and they laughed, literally, when you call in, because everyone else is calling them. Biden said he would defeat this virus, COVID, but I think COVID has defeated him. We have meandering bureaucrats. Compare that to the warp speed initiatives that resulted in the vaccines that we have, which still remains the primary therapy that we're always offered. It is shameful with America's resources and our ingenuity. And then add to that the Biden administration is picking and choosing when to follow the science based, I think, on a political agenda at this point. And this stuff you just mentioned about authorizing boosters for kids, 12 to 15, I mean, there's no panel involved like they're supposed to. Scientific advisors are supposed to assess whether, for example, there's a concern about myocarditis, which is what held this back the first time. But I actually take it a step back. I think boosters are the wrong challenge for America. We need to focus on adults who need medications. And here's what I do. Simple. I'm a doctor. I review the data. One size does not fit all when you have a 1,000-fold difference between the incidence of infection and complications in older people versus young kids. We have to be brave enough as conservatives, as Republicans, as Americans, to talk openly about this, to say what we're seeing with our own eyes, to call it like it is. This is inconsistency. It's frustrating the voters in Pennsylvania. Americans all over the country are feeling it. The constantly changing rule book has got to stop.
You know, you were very, I knew so many people that were getting this. I actually called you and asked very specific questions. Early on with Omicron, we knew it was more contagious. I did not know how lethal it may or may not be at that moment. And you were pretty reassuring. And also, you said you couldn't believe that tests weren't readily available. They're not. That monoclonals were not very available. They weren't. They should be. There's no excuse for that. And these antivirals, you've been telling me about this now for weeks and months, that we're not using them, and they show great promise and hope, and they work.
Well, Sean, let's take the one from Pfizer. This medication in clinical trials reduced the chances of major complications and death by 90%. Where are the pills? To the best of my ability, I've looked everywhere. You can't find them. And I don't know who's able to get them. Forget about individual cities in a panic moves making rules that are inconsistent for the public. But as an average doctor, you're just trying to help your patients. We don't have scenarios where we only rely on prevention. I might prescribe you a cholesterol medication in order to reduce the chance of having a heart attack. But just in case you have a heart attack, I know how to do heart surgery. That's my day job, right? I'm a heart surgeon. We can't give up treatment and just trust that prevention works for everybody. We've learned that the hard way with COVID.
All right. Now, Dr. Oz, we actually call you. You went through medical school, what, 4 years, internship, residency, 4,000 heart operations. We're gonna defer to the title doctor that you earned, unlike the Philly Inquirer. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Happy New Year.